Andrew and Yelena.
And this is Serenity, our 2019 Ford Transit High Roof Extended.
This content is sponsored by Outdoorsy. Through Outdoorsy, you can rent your camper van out to make extra cash, and you can rent a van to try van life before you commit.
So coming into the van, we have our light switch, which is on a dimmer. So that way, when we get into the van and it's dark, we can just turn the lights on and get into the van. Coming into the galley, we have our sink, which is 16 inches by 14 inches and 10 inches deep. So we knew we wanted a deep sink. We have both faucets on a water pump, which is located in the back along with our 45-gallon water tank. Underneath the sink is where we have a 5-gallon gray water tank that catches anything that comes from the sink. So down here we have our trash can, our gray water jug, and our fire extinguisher. Moving on, we have our stove and oven combination located underneath the counter. We wanted a full counter so that way we can cook and cut as many vegetables as we need and have as much counter space as possible. So you just lift this up, and then we have 3 burners and our oven. And down here we have storage for miscellaneous cooking utensils. So our oven is a propane oven. We have a 20-pound propane tank in the back, which is in a sealed box that has a hole going through the bottom of our van, so it routes any propane that could have leaked out of the van, so it's a safe distance away from us. Over here we have our propane switch, which turns on a solenoid, which turns on and off our propane, so we don't have propane going through our van.
Alright, so coming over to this part of the van, we've got this storage cubby over here where we just keep like our rain jackets and coats and hats and stuff. It's a great little storage spot. We've got this cabinet over here, which is basically just a medicine cabinet and some beauty supplies for the wife. And then my wife made this killer pantry, which slides out right here and stores, you know, everything you need to cook. It's got our spices, it's got oatmeal, rice. And then over here, we have our isotherm 85-liter fridge because you need to have perishable stuff refrigerated. It actually holds a lot of stuff and it is extremely efficient. So very happy with the size that we got. It holds everything that we need. We did deliberate between a Dometic chest fridge with the freezer. Having a real freezer would be really nice, but they're really big and awkward in my opinion and doesn't feel as much like a home. And down here is our toilet because nature does call. It rolls out here into the galley, so we've got room to use it. It's a Naturehead composting toilet. It's fantastic. This is probably one of the things I was most nervous about going into van life was, oh, where do I go to the bathroom? And do I really want to have to clean that up? And yeah, all those questions that probably come with it. Honestly, it's a breeze. It's super easy. Very, very happy with the product. So when it comes to emptying it, the number 2s are really not that bad. The composting really does its job. There's no odor from it. The fan pulls air through this hose and it vents out through the floor to the outside and basically takes whatever smell there might be out with it. And these locks are essential because the slides don't lock, and so these little door locks are very strong and work great. We did have some issues with it with only one, so we added a second one and we've had no problems ever since.
And then up here we have our Max air fan, which we put there because we wanted to make sure that it would help vent anything that we have coming from the stove. Also, with our bunk window back there and that on the exhaust, there's a really great cross breeze that comes through, which is great for the dogs and for us when it gets warm out. And over here we have extra counter space, which we kind of just ended up with. We knew we wanted drawers, but this was just an added bonus that we got this much extra counter space. It's great for when someone's sitting here. You can put a drink over here, your laptop over here, things like that. And then in our top drawer, we have our utensil drawer. And it just holds various cooking utensils and our forks, knives, scissors, things like that. They're on soft closing slides. And over here we have kind of our control center. So here we have our 5 gig MiFi Verizon router. This is our Simmarine system monitor, which monitors our batteries, our water tank, the interior van's temperature. This is our inverter remote. So you just hit this button and it turns on our inverters. So in here we have like pantry items, chips, things like that. These cabinets are on gas struts, so it holds the cabinet open. And we have also these latches, the same ones that we had for the toilet, that hold the doors shut so when we're driving, they don't open. here we have our benches. We have one long bench and a single seat over here. We wanted to have a long bench because we actually have a fairly large dog. He's 70 pounds, and we wanted someplace that he could sleep at night along with in his bed if he wants that. And we also wanted the option to be able to sit next to each other. And also, as I mentioned earlier, I work full-time remote, so just wanted a space where I could feel really comfortable.
Here's one of our 2 dogs. He's Frank. He's 9 pounds. He's a long-haired Chihuahua with some terrier in him. He is the protector of the van. When you see the other dog, you'll laugh, but he alerts us to when other people are present. Here we have our dining room table, which swings out from the wall. And then we stick this leg in here. One of us can eat here, the other person would sit on the other side. We like to play board games, so we needed a table to do that and both sit here. Over here, we have our laundry chute. It looks pretty in the front, ugly in the back, but it gets the job done. You do need a place to put all your dirty laundry as the day or weeks go on, depending on how often you want to go to the laundromat. To add to the sophisticated electronics we have in our van, we have this camera right here that we can control with an app while outside of the van, and it also has voice, so you can hear what's happening in the van and you can talk through it. So when we plug it into our USB port over here, it turns it on. It connects to Wi-Fi, so the router was really important to have because we need constant internet. If you're using your phone as a hotspot, your phone's probably with you at the restaurant and not in your van to let that broadcast. We did have a funny situation where we were out to dinner and our larger dog likes to howl and be obnoxious, and we're really worried about someone thinking he's in distress and breaking into our van because the dog's in here in distress. So the cool part about being able to talk through it is you can tell him to be quiet and he thinks God's talking to him and then he becomes quiet. So it's been a very useful feature to have in our van. All right, over here we have our second light switch of the van. This controls the rear 4 lights. It's also a dimmer, which is really nice so that you're not blinding yourself in the morning or at night trying to watch a movie. Under the bench we have started out as additional storage, turned into just the battery box. They are Velcroed so that when the dog jumps onto the bench, it doesn't slide off and freak him out. Velcro really does solve a lot of problems. There's also a seatbelt under here. My wife wanted to be able to sit back here in comfort while she worked and I drove us around the US. Hopefully no one turns us in because not sure if it's really DOT approved, but it's a golf cart seatbelt and it's an added safety feature. Under the bench, we have our 2 Battleborn batteries. Each are 100 amp hour. We've got our kill switch under there to kill power to the van. That's the heart of our van. That gives us power, makes the lights turn on, and vent fan running so the toilet doesn't stink up the van. And the other fun fact about the cushions is that my wife and her mom made them. Mostly her mom. Thank you, Linda. So we had to decide on what van to pick. I'm 6'3", and I want to be able to stand fully upright in the van without clocking my head all the time in the van. So we went with the Ford Transit because it has this high roof. It started out at like 6'9" or something, and as you can see, I still have a few inches. Now, there are some other drawbacks that everyone would probably say is like, you can't sleep sideways, so your bed has to be the long ways to fit in the van. Well, we didn't want to do that, so I sleep sideways, and I can fit into bed. Of course, all these throw pillows really get in the way, so you gotta make those go away. I truly can sleep fully sideways in the van. Don't have much room to spare, but there's like a kind of a cutout over at the wall where my feet go, and I sleep slightly at an angle, and it works really well. The bed is a 5-inch foam mattress that we cut with a turkey cutter to fit the contour in here. It's a lot of fun to cut the mattress with a turkey cutter. We decided to put in these bunk windows on either side. When you have this wide open and you have the max air fan drawing air out, it creates a fantastic breeze that really keeps you cool. So you need clothes for van life, right? Downsizing was a lot of fun. This is where both of our his and hers clothes go. Mine are in here, hers are in here. We're gonna show hers. Again, gas struts and the door latch lock. Don't forget your door latch locks, otherwise all this stuff's gonna come tumbling out while you're driving. Over in our bed, we've kind of got our secondary control panel over here where I've got 2 remotes Velcro to the wall. We've got a remote control to our projector, which, unless you want to fit a TV in your van, this is an awesome solution. We just turn the lights out at night and project onto the cabinet wall. The reading lights are finger touch and you can turn on, and they've got multiple brightness. You have a really nice cup holder here so that you can sit in bed and hold your beverage. And then we can control our max air fan from over here as well. This is our Dometic Mini Heki skylight. We're really happy we added this. You can lay in bed and see the stars. It also helps draw a ton of airflow through the van. It has a bug screen net, and then also it has a sunshade so you don't melt back here if you have the window open. Alright, so you might be wondering why the bed's so high. We put a garage underneath our bed. It was really important to us to not have our bikes sit outside on the van. One, so they don't get stolen. Two, so that they don't rust. The water tank's under here, all the electronic controls.
So this is our propane tank is in here. This is a sealed, completely sealed box. Back here we have our 45-gallon fresh water tank. So having our bikes in van life was really important. I love biking, my husband loves biking, so we knew that we really wanted to have our bikes here, and we wanted them underneath the van, and we wanted to have an easy way to pull them out. So we made a slide out bike rack which locks in place and just slides out and locks out. So we have both of our bikes on here. And so back here we have all of our electrical. I did the entire electrical for the van. My engineer husband didn't help at all. Actually, it's not true. He did help when I had problems. Back there we have our 2000 watt Samlex inverter. And then we also have our Victron MPPT 130 amp solar charger. All of our bus bars, fuse boxes, everything is back there.
So up on the roof, we have our roof rack, which holds everything. Attached to the Unistrut, we have our deck, which is awesome for sitting up there, looking at the stars. We also have our solar strap to the roof, which allows us to harvest the sun. We've got two 75 panels and one 200 panel. So here's the vinyl floor in our van. It was really super easy and cool to install. It's just taped all along the edges, and it's free floating everywhere else. Ours is horizontal like this, where everyone else's is parallel, I guess you could say.
I hope you enjoy our van tour. You can check us out on Instagram at Andrew and Yelena.
We hope to see you out on the road.
I hope you enjoyed that video. If you hadn't noticed, we do sell an ebook for how to convert a van. It has over 190 pages of detailed instructions and diagrams, also 25 video tutorials which are specifically for the ebook buyer. Creating a van for many people is obviously a really intimidating project, but I really believe, and I've seen it time and time and time again, that with the right information, anyone can turn out with a pretty decent van conversion. So check the link in the description, subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and drop us a comment if you like this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.